Welcome, everyone, to this episode on the Ultimate Sports TV, guys. We are in the middle of ranking season in the NFL. I've already done some rankings on this channel. I already did my top 10 quarterbacks, my top 10 wide receivers, and my top 10 tight ends is coming out real soon. But today, I'll be doing my top 10 running backs going into 2021. And who better to help me than the best NFL YouTuber, the best Browns YouTuber on the net? In my opinion, he may not give himself the credit he deserves, but I am here with Quincy Carrier to help me give his top 10 running backs along with mine. How you doing, Quincy?
Doing good, man. Nice to be on the show.
All right. And guys, before we get into this, just want to make sure you go ahead and subscribe to Quincy Carrier for Browns content and any other NFL content that you want. Also, subscribe to the Ultimate Sports TV because if you are not subscribed to neither one of us, you are missing out on so much, people, because it's the odd spot. Get lost and lots of time from the Ultimate Sports TV spot or the Quincy Carrier spot. Me, NBA content, and for him, NFL content, and for me, NFL content, guys. So just go ahead. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can get some good content. After that, please make sure you like this video for me, share this video and YouTube channel. Then comment down below your top 10 running backs down in the comment section below because I'd love to hear your opinion down there in the comment section below, guys. But before we get into our top 10, we're going to give our honorable mentions. And for my honorable mentions, I got I tried to fit Kareem Hunt in there, but I
Mhm.
put J.K. Dobbins in there. I had Joe Mixon. He just didn't have a good enough of a season last year. Chris Carson is in there. Zeke. He was a tough one. Like, should I put him in there? Should I not? He had 900 yards last year. I didn't put him in there. So he's one of my honorable mentions. And I got Miles Sanders down there. Quincy, who you got as your honorable mentions?
I only got a couple here. Miles Sanders would be somebody who would hit my honorable mentions. And then also Gus Edwards of Pittsburgh. I mean, not Pittsburgh, Baltimore is somebody who would be there. J.K. Dobbins, I'm not sure yet if he's going to be top 10. So if he's not
Yeah.
top 10, he's in an honorable mention. And who else? Am I missing anybody else? I'll think of somebody down the line because that's usually how my brain works.
Mhm.
But as of right now, I think that's it with the honorable mentions.
All right, so we're gonna start this off, and we're gonna give our top 10 running backs. Say, for instance, I'll give my 9 and 10, then Quincy gives his 9 and 10, and then we're gonna keep going like that. So I'm gonna start, and at 10, I got Jonathan Taylor. Now, from the start, I was going back and forth between him and Kareem Hunt, but when I really looked at it, what may give Jonathan Taylor the edge is that he's a number one running back. Also, he did have 1,000 yards last year. I also like how he really kind of fits in that Colts system and what he's been able to do as that back that you really rely on each time. I really like what Jonathan Taylor did last year to really up the ante in that Colts system, and I think he could do even more this year. And then at number 9, I got David Montgomery. Now, he's an underrated name that not a lot of people are putting in their top 10s, and that I think a lot of people forget. But he had over 1,000 yards last year. He had 1,000 yards, and that team, the Bears, weren't even really focusing on running till the middle of the season. And he was in an offense where the passing game was terrible and the offensive line wasn't all that great. So David Montgomery, I felt like is a great impact running back from day one, really. When he came into the league, I thought he had a pretty good season. He's always flying under the radar. I just felt like what impact he had in the Bears offense, what he was able to do with also the skill set that he has, I think he deserves a spot in the top 10.
All right, so my number 10 is going to be Kareem Hunt. I think he is well deserving. The versatility of him is something that's special. I mean, this is somebody who is relied upon as probably the Browns' fourth or sometimes third receiving option. He's also somebody who gets a fair amount of touchdowns from that receiving position as a running back and a wide receiver. So he is very valuable on that front. Also, as a runner, he's really good. A guy who used to lead the league in rushing yards at one point in his career, still very young. I think he will be a top 10 rusher this year. At number 9 is somebody who's starting to go on the decline. It's Ezekiel Elliott. Now, maybe something, I think he did have COVID, and that might have affected some of his decision making early on. But he just didn't look the same. And the fumbles, right? The fumbles have always kind of been a thing with Ezekiel Elliott as far as his NFL career goes. Now it's starting to become unavoidable
Yep.
when you talk about him. So still a really good running back, still one of the top 10 running backs in the NFL, but he's teetering on that edge of, still being Ezekiel Elliott to ending up like Le'Veon Bell. And it's
Yep.
interesting to see where he goes now that he's on that crossroads.
See, when it comes to Zeke, like I totally get what you're saying. Like I there was a point I even had him at like number 7. It's that hard to rank him because like he's Ezekiel Elliott and like although he didn't have the world beater season that he always has, he still had like 900 yards last year. We'll see what he can do this year just because like Dak is back and the passing attack is going to be better and all the attention won't be on the run game and that offensive line is going to be getting back some better pieces. But what concerns me about him is just that, like, if he doesn't have everything right around him, my concern is like, can he do it all as like that number one back that'll carry you to wins, get you time of possession and stuff like that. And when it comes to Kareem Hunt, it broke my heart not to put him in the top 10 because Browns, man. Like it broke my heart because like I know he's that like dual threat back, and he was at number 10 for me at first. I just thought the season that Jonathan Taylor had was I thought it was pretty impressive. I think he could do some stuff in year 2.
All right, yeah, understandable.
All right. So moving on to number 8 and number 7. And number 8, I got Josh Jacobs, and at number 7, Saquon, who only played 2 games last year and definitely did not have a lot of yards either. Now at number 8 with Josh Jacobs, I think what he's been able to do in that Raiders offense, especially the past 2 years, has been particularly well. And I think really what Derek Carr has been able to do, limiting his turnovers and stuff like that, I think Josh Jacobs has been a guy that can definitely help what the Raiders offense wants to do, really as a passing offense, really trying to if everyone's stacking the box for Josh Jacobs, then you have room outside. So I think he has a good impact on that offense. But really, him as an elusive back, a workhorse back, I think he's really good. And also, he's just an explosive running back. And he made it another Pro Bowl this year. Now, while Pro Bowls aren't the best thing, like tell what running back is good or what running back is bad, I still think Josh Jacobs as a running back, tremendous skill set, elusive, has a good skill set, will get you some scores, but also just him as an impact running back. I think he's very good. And at number 9, at number 7, Saquon. Now, to me, at first, I put him at like number 6 or number 5. I can't remember. But when you have 2 games and below 100 yards, if I'm not mistaken, there's no way I can put you like higher. But his skill set is definitely top 5, and when healthy, he's definitely top 4, top 5, top 3. We know what kind of player that Saquon is. He's a well-rounded player, elusive, fast. Past years, his production was pretty well. When healthy, again, he's a top 4 back. But with his production last year, he almost fell out of the top 10 for me. But with his skill set, I don't think I'll leave him out of the top 10. What about you, Quincy?
My 7 and 8. All right, so I'm gonna go here with Josh Jacobs here at 8. Again, Josh Jacobs, pretty good job his rookie year. I think he's gonna carry over a lot of what he did with the Raiders into this year. My seven's gonna be a little surprising here. I'm gonna go with somebody who I think is gonna have a real breakout year in Cam Akers. This is somebody who was impressive last year in small bursts. He didn't really get the production that you would expect out of a top 10 running back, but he's going to be in that run heavy scheme. And I think things are going to be a lot more consistent in that scheme. I think the offensive line is going to be better. Obviously, the quarterback play is going to be more consistent. And, a lot of people talk about how consistent quarterback play or how a running game, when you talk about Baker Mayfield, how a running game affects the quarterback play and makes it easier for the quarterback. Nobody talks about how a better quarterback makes things a lot easier for a running back. I think that's more impactful than the latter. And I think Cam Akers is really going to have a boom in his second year. I really liked what I saw out of him whenever I would watch the Rams. And I do think he's going to surprise a lot of folks this year.
Yeah, as a running back, I fell in love with Cam Akers. I think it was the Patriots game where he go for like 200 yards in that game. I can't remember.
Yeah, I believe he did. I believe it was a national TV game, but he was amazing in one of those.
Yeah, because he's a real workhorse. I do believe. at the end of 2022 that he could be in the top 10 because when you look at that Rams offense now, defenses will actually like spread out kind of because Matthew Stafford can be a threat with the weapons he has around him. But also like being in a run heavy offense for Cam Akers, like with the touches he's gonna get and knowing what kind of skill set he has, I think he'll definitely be a back that'll probably enter the top 10 at the end of next year and definitely will have over 1,000 yards.
Definitely, definitely.